Hello, children. Welcome to Clay Time with Mr. Barnes. Today, we're going to go over how to make a pinch pot. Step one, doesn't matter what you're making, this is how you always start. When you get clay out of the bucket, you got to wedge it. Okay, wedging is kind of like kneading dough. Your clay has to be wedged for two reasons. First one, so we can homogenize the clay, so it's all the same consistency. The second reason is to get rid of air bubbles. Air bubbles in the clay can create a void where water vapor, as it's drying and being fired, water vapor can get trapped in that pocket and explode. And your eyes just raised, like, when I say explode, it's pretty much a textbook definition of an explosion. It blows up and pieces of shrapnel go everywhere. So we want to avoid air bubbles. Okay, wedging your clay, you're gonna push against the table like this, and then you fold it back, and you kind of squeeze on the sides, and you just get yourself into a rhythm. Now you need to stand up to do this, because you need your upper body strength. If you're sitting down and trying to do this, it's gonna be really annoying. So stand up and wedge, okay? Now, there's another better, faster way of wedging, which I'm gonna show you right now. Ooh, camera woman. Can you zoom in on this? This is one of the pieces of bisque that I said ended up in the recycled clay. So if you find one, can you see this one? It's very small. But if you find a little thing like that, take it out. Where does it go?
Trash.
Trash, not back into the clay, because we don't want it in the clay. Okay, spiral wedging is faster, but it's a little bit harder to learn how to do. So the way it works is you kind of, with your non-dominant hand, you're gonna push away from your body at a 45-degree angle. And with your other hand, you're gonna slightly lift and twist the clay. So I'm gonna do it slowly. Lift and twist, push it down again. Lift and twist, push it down again. So you can see I'm starting to get a spiral, but once you figure out the rhythm, it goes really fast. How many times do you think we need to push the clay?
50.
More!
100?
Yeah. I was hoping you'd go a little less, so I could say more again.
75?
75 is the minimum number of times you've got to push down on the clay like this. So just count in your head. 1, 2, 3, until you get to 75. 100 is better. I know that sounds like a joke. I'm not joking. It's deadly serious. So I'm not deadly serious. That's stupid. But I am serious. Okay. So once you get your 75, it really doesn't take that long. And I've totally been counting this whole time while I'm talking at the same time. 74, 75, got it, nailed it. Okay. Then again, it doesn't really matter what you're making. You're gonna start by shaping your clay into a ball. So if you're slab building or coil building, that's where we wanna start, okay? Now, for the pinch pot, that's too much clay. Like, it should fit comfortably in the palm of your hand. So that's good. That's a good amount. But now it's ugly again because I just twisted it. So you're gonna throw it like a baseball between your hands. Once you get it into a nice ball, you wanna check it for any wrinkles or folds like this. You see those? And we're gonna smooth those over, because when we're making our pinch pot, if we have folds like that on the outside, they're more likely to become cracks, which we don't want. Pick your favorite thumb, and you're gonna push it into the clay, kind of twisting it back and forth a little bit. It's not super comfortable to do that, but you'll manage. And stop before you think you're gonna hit your palm, okay? So we have like this. Then you're gonna start pinching, and you wanna use as much of the surface area of your fingers as you can when you're doing this. So you're gonna pinch around, so you go around and around in a circle, and then you start spiraling upwards. And you do little tiny pinches at a time. So like Mr. Krabs. Helps if you make the noise. Okay. You see this little pinch action? Little tiny pinches. Okay, I'm gonna go faster than I think any of you should, but I also have done this hundreds of times. So if your hand starts to get tired, you can switch. So let's just switch it over. But you almost, be cool if my voice worked. You almost don't need to see what you're doing. It's more important that you're feeling what you're doing. So you're feeling for spots that feel too thick and spots that feel too thin. And you want to even it out. You want an even wall thickness all the way around. And so again, you don't want to do big pinches. You want to do smaller ones closer together. You'll get a much more even base for your pinch pot. So if I was taking a little bit more time, I would make this a little bit thinner, but a good rule of thumb, actually, we're gonna change that. A good rule of pinky is to use your pinky as a measurement. If it's like about half as thick as your pinky, that's fine, that's good. Should not be thicker than your pinky, but it can be thinner. But not too thin. If you guys make your pinch pots too thin, they're gonna get really floppy and they're not gonna hold themselves up and it'll just keep collapsing while you're trying to work on it. So don't pinch it too thin. I'm leaving this a little bit thick. Okay. Now you'll notice that, and you see this on the top, like that's uneven. If that bothers you, you can tap it on the table. And now we got a nice, can you see that? Nice flat, even top. Except then it looks dumb on the inside. So what I would rather you do is have a slightly irregular rim that looks better. Okay, you're not a robot. I don't expect machine perfection. We're going for human perfection, which by definition is imperfect. I'm gonna tap this on the table a couple times so I get a nice flat bottom. Then I'm gonna take a serrated rib, which is over there. Can you point the camera over there? Nice, okay, back. Serrated rib or a fork, and we're gonna scratch the bottom. This is called scoring. We're gonna score and slip. I put a little water on there too. That's the slipped part. We're actually gonna make slip on the clay as we scratch it. Then you're gonna take another little chunk of clay, and you're gonna roll out a little ugly coil. Kind of looks like a dog turd. That's fine. Then you want like a lot of table in front of you. Don't try and roll a coil like this. You need to get it moving across the table. Otherwise, if you try and roll a coil in a little tiny area like this, you're gonna end up getting a flat coil, not a nice round coil. This will also allow you to feel where you've got spots that are kind of starting to go flat, and then you can even them out, okay? That's way too much coil for what I need, but that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna score this again. Again, I've just put just a little bit of water. You can also use a sponge and just add a little bit of water. Then, okay, you're gonna get a good close-up on this. You're gonna press this down. So when I say score and slip, that's how you join two pieces of clay together, but it's really score, slip, and compress. If you don't press the clay together or compress the clay together, it does not stick or stay. So now that I've got that on there, that's not enough. So I'm gonna give it a little tap like that, or I might get a paddle and give it a little spanking, just a little. Nice. If you do it too hard, you're gonna collapse your whole thing. Then you'll take a dry thumb or finger and you're gonna weld at least the inside of your pinch pot and kind of smooth it out with your finger. If you have a little bit of extra water in there, that makes it easier to smooth out that area. Now that I've welded at least one half of the coil, that'll stay on there, but it's more secure if we weld the outside too. Sometimes when I'm welding on the outside foot, that's what this is called, the foot ring, I will do it with my fingers and I'll leave the finger marks there as part of my design. Is it cute? Is it giving cute? Okay. So that's fine, and this is the goal. This is where we want to get. Dang, give me one of those wire tools. Let me see the camera for a second. Okay, so I did this little thing, so that's what it looks like when just your thumb is in, and then we start pinching it a little, and then we pinched it so that it's even all the way through, and then we added our coil on the end. Is that in focus? There we go. That's wire tool? Okay. So this is the last step. This is what I want you to get to today. You're gonna cut your pinch pot in half, and then we're gonna look at and evaluate the profile. This, like I said, I was going fast. This is a little bit thick. It's fine. It's a little bit thick, but it is even all the way through, which is what I want you to get to, okay? When you're done, because this is just practice, you're gonna get your clay wet again. You can baptize it either like this, all the way under the water, or you can just give it a little sprinkle. And then you're gonna put this clay back in your bag and you'll use it again tomorrow, okay? When you come in tomorrow, what's the first thing you're gonna do with this new clay, or this clay that was in your bag? You're gonna have to
Mix it with the dough.
what did we call it? There's a special word. Mixing it like dough, yeah, you're right.
Forgot.
What word did I say? Wedge it. You gotta wedge it first, okay. And